Alex Rios is your leadoff batter for the Ida Baker Bulldogs as we head into your top half of the fifth, where your score is 5-0. Ida Baker leads over the Riverdale Raiders. Rios starts off the count with a 1-ball, 1-strike. Battles the third pitch back towards the backstop, 1-2. Rough game for the Raiders, and they had a really good opportunity to get on the board at the home half of the fourth when they had runners on second and third, but they couldn't get anything going. There have been multiple opportunities for the Raiders to score men home as they had runners on second multiple times, but they just couldn't get anything going. That was the first time of the ball game where they had a runner on third there with Brendan McNabb, and here is a strikeout going to Alex Rios as a fastball is blown by him by Colin Azevedo.
Next batter for Ida Baker, number 6, Corey Hill. Thank you. Correction, pinch hitting, number 13, Matt Lager.
Matt Lager will be your pinch hitter here for Ida Baker, and he'll take a strike one. So Matt Lager in his first at bat of the ball game, he's a pinch hitter. Here's his 0-1, and there's a strike. Colin Azevedo looking pretty solid on the mound. He's been able to handle this Bulldog team pretty well, I must say. So far, he's thrown 2.5 innings in this ball game. To be exact, 2 1/3 innings. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back punch-outs. And this time it was a swing and a miss for strike 3 on Matt Lagers.
Next batter for Ida Baker, number 4, Luke Ensley.
So Luke Ensley steps in. 2 up, 2 down inning thus far here for the Raider defense. Azevedo with the leg whip and fire. And that's up and away for a ball. Here's the second one on the way, and that's back towards the public address announcer's window in the press box, which is luckily covered up with the safety netting, so we're all good up here in the press box. Overall, it's just been a rough day here for the Riverdale Raider baseball program as a pitch drops in the dirt to make the count 2-1 for Luke Ensley at the plate. The day started off at 4 p.m. here at Pringle Field. Oh, this goes right off the hip of Ensley, and he's going to take a walk on first as he is beamed with that pitch. Just went right off the left side of his hip there as he stood into the box.
Next for the Bulldogs, number 10, Christian Prophet.
Christian Prophet will now step up. There's a brief meeting on the mound between Tyler Prell and Azevedo. And now 1 on first and 2 out at the top of the fifth. And your score is 5-0, Ida Baker on top. Azevedo on the mound. And he gets the nod, and he'll shake and throw over the first base where Joel Velez is standing. And that runner Ensley is going to slide back in time as he dove on his stomach there to the bag. The pitch is taken for a ball to Christian Prophet. Well, once again, earlier at 4 p.m. here at Riverdale High School, we had the JV ball game between Riverdale and Ida Baker, where Ida Baker won that ball game by a 3-2 final score. Another check over the first where Profit is safe. And if you think about it, both of those games are very similar. My goodness, he clocked this ball out to left field, and that's going to be nowhere close foul as that ball scorches his way outside of the ballpark. 1-1 is the count given to Profit. Well, in both of those games for JV and varsity in the game you're listening to right now, both the Riverdale JV and varsity team had plenty of opportunities to score, but they just couldn't get things together. 6-3 putout retires the sides. And we are now heading to the bottom of the fifth inning. 5-0. Ida Baker in the lead over the Raiders.
Number 7, Tyler Prowl.
Tyler Pro will be your first batter here at the home half of the fifth as the Raiders trail by a 5-0 score at this point of the ballgame. Pro tries to lay down the bunt, but it won't go well as it's fouled down the third base line. Still on the mound for Ida Baker is Dillian Lewis. He's been the pitcher on the mound for Ida Baker all game long. He has been the starter and he's just been in control. As the game progresses, we see Riverdale get some more opportunities with runners in scoring position, but they are still getting shut out on the board. Fans on the Raiders section still having to keep their heads up out there as another close foul ball comes near the seats, and it harmlessly lands. The 0-2 to Prell. Way out. Well, the Raiders in a very crucial spot here in the upcoming weeks. This is out to center field, right center to be exact. The center fielder for Ida Baker that time, Luke Ensley, trailed out to his left side to put the glove in the back, or the ball in the back of his glove.
Your next Raider batter, number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Hunter Tinsley. Now hoping to sweeten things up for the Raiders here at the bottom of the fifth with run out. Takes a pitch low in the dirt. Colton Seitz warming up on the on-deck circle. There's also some warm-up action going on in the Raider bullpen down the right field line. The 1-0. Tinsley takes a nice stance but holds the bat back for a ball. And the reason I say the upcoming weeks are crucial is because, believe it or not, we're coming down to your final weeks of the regular season. It certainly is hard to believe, but it's just around the corner. Count now 3-0 with a pitch away. Raiders trying to fight to stay competitive in the standings. 4-pitch walk delivered to Hunter Tinsley, who now trots his way to first base, and Colton Seitz will try to rally him around.
Your next Raider batter, number 10, Colton Seitz.
Speaking of being competitive in the standings, let's tell you about the Class 7A District 12 standings. Naples Golden Eagles, they're the dominant team here of the division, going 12-3 this year. They're the number 1 seed. Ball number 1. Deliver to Seitz. Team number 2 in the district, it's the Estero Wildcats, who are 10-4. The 10-5 Gulf Coast Sharks are 3rd. And the 4th spot, it's the Palmetto Ridge Bears, who are just 1 game above 500. 6 wins and 5 losses. Ball 2 brought low to Seitz. Riverdale and Lehigh, they are currently tied for the 5th place spot. Both schools are 6-8 overall and 2-3 when playing district rivals. Count now 3-0 the Seitz. Tinsley still over on first base as a runner for the Raiders. And the 7th spot, the East Lee County Jaguars sit there. They are 2 wins and 11 losses. And this right here is gruesome. And the 8th spot, South Fort Myers, the Wolfpack, are 1 win and 14 losses. That's got to be rough. And here's another walk, this time given to Colton Seitz. And Joel Velez will hope to do damage as Tinsley is now over in scoring position at second.
For your Raiders, number 5, Joel Velez.
And now it looks like the infield is crowding in for Ida Baker. The manager is coming out, Bob Van Deventer, and this may not be a good thing for the future of Dillian Lewis in this ball game. Looks as if right now they're just having a conversation, and this is going to be a short break, so we'll have a stoppage in play here at the bottom half of the 5th. And it looks like there is going to be a pitching change, ladies and gentlemen. Dillian Lewis is on his way out as he marches down the third base side to the dugout. And it's time to swing open those bullpen doors. Let's take a look at who this new pitcher is on the mound, and we will tell you who it is right after this break on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. We are back with a new pitcher on the mound for the Ida Baker Bulldogs. It's number 9, Dakota Kayada, a right-handed hurler, and he enters the ball game at the home half of the 5th inning. 1 out and 2 men on. 1 on second, 1 on first. Colton Seitz currently on the first base bag, and Hunter Tinsley stands on second. Joel Velez takes a hack and a miss at his first pitch. Trying to signal a bunt. Fakes. Bouncer back to the pitcher's mound. Second for 1, first for 2. Double play ends it. Went from the pitcher to the shortstop to the first baseman. A 1-6-3 putout retires the side. 6th inning we go, and your score is 5-0. Ida Baker dominating this ball game.
Number 1, Mac McGarty.
Matt McGarty is the opening batter of this 6th inning of play. Ida Baker in the lead over the Riverdale Raiders by a 5-0 score. New pitcher on the mound for the Raiders, Tyler Gertman, delivers a ball 1 to start his night on the mound. His 1-0 to McGarty will also miss. Gertman prior in this ball game played as a right fielder. The 2-0. And that's going to barely stretch its way inside from down under. Gertman, he is the 4th pitcher on the mound for the Raiders in 6 innings. Pitch knocks in the dirt. Now a 3-1 count to McGarty. Colin Azevedo, the pitcher prior to Gertman on the mound, he was looking very solid. I was very impressed with his night. Anyhow, they didn't want to wear out his arm. Coach Pringle, by that I mean. So they sent out Tyler Gertman to the mound, and this is going to be a fly ball out to left field where it barely stretches its way over the fence out of the playing field. Payoff pitch on the way, and there's your walk. Matt McGarty making his way over the first as the leadoff man.
Next batter for Ida Baker, number 17, Christian Menendez.
Christian Menendez. Now hoping to keep things going here. And a nice motion for Ida Baker at the top half of the 6th inning. Remember, here in Florida High School baseball, we play a total of 7 innings. If a game is deadlocked in a tie, then we will go to extras. Anyhow, it looks like most likely that's not going to be your case tonight. Anyhow, I wouldn't question it happening. Stranger things have happened. So ball 1 given to Menendez. His next pitch will advance the count to 2-0.
It's a deep fly ball. Oh, no, wait, it's a starter's gun.
Third pitch on the way. That's also wide. Gertman, it's certainly not every game where you see him on the mound for the Raiders. So it's interesting to see him get on the mound and just get that experience. It's really what it's all about. Looks very calm anyhow. And he is finding the strike plate. He now has a 3-1 count to Menendez. No outs at the top of the sixth and one man on first. Leg whip and fire. High out the center field. Going back towards the warning track, and that right fielder is going to make the catch. I believe that's Colton Seitz out in right field, who is taking over for Gertman, who originally played right field in today's ball game.
Next batter for the Bulldogs, number 16, Chris Schroe.
Chris Schroe is your next batter with one out here in the inning. So Seitz out in right field for the Raiders now. The delivery home is high and dry to Chris Schroe. Fans sticking around throughout the course of this ball game, and they've been enjoying some great baseball as well. Ida Baker once again one heck of a team, winning 12 of 14 games this year. If they win this, that'll make it 13 of 15 ball games, and that runner is picked off over on second base as he was attempting to steal. So that's out number 2 as the runner was picked off over at second base. Nice cannon throw from Tyler Prell, the catcher, all the way over to second base where Daniel Kaler guarded the bag and made the tag for the out. So Chris Schroe proceeds with his at-bat. A pitch to the knees makes his count 2-1 for a ball. Gertman in his first inning of pitching, and here's a pitch way up. Tyler Prell, he's been getting a workout tonight. There have been plenty of times where behind the plate he's had to leap up to keep a ball from heading in the backstop. He's been sliding, leaping up, you name it. Certainly has to be difficult being a catcher. Plenty of leg workouts, you name it. A strike will make it a payoff pitch, and that is the case. And it misses. So Chris Schroe will now make his way over the first. I guess you could call this game Walk-a-mania. Because there have been walks all over. I understand that's a lame pun, but bear with me.
Next batter for Ida Baker, number 7, Gabe Villaverde.
Gabe Villaverde now follows up. Well, yeah, this game has been through plenty of walks. And now it seems like Gertman's mainly aiming towards the lower portion of the strike plate. Plenty of bounce balls in the dirt. Sinks one for a ball. You still hear the cheering going on all the way from the baseball field as a part of that middle school track meet out in Carl Engel Field, just over the center field wall of the baseball complex. Here's a check over the first where that runner is back in time with a slide. And another meeting on the mound. Gertman having a one-on-one talk with catcher Tyler Prell. And Villaverde has a quick break to himself. His 2-0 pitch. Oh boy, that's a nice liner down the left field line. This should be extra bases. Runner is going to stop at around third, and that's a double for Gabe Villaverde. Chris Schroe now on third. And there's going to be a courtesy runner coming in for Villa Verde on second.
Courtesy runner now at second base, number 14, Chris Sabo. Next batter for the Bulldogs, number 3, Ryan Clay.
Ryan Clay is the upcoming batter, and Chris Sabo will take over as a base runner on second. It's now the third time in the ball game where Sabo is on the base pads as a courtesy runner. As another pitch is going to be covered up by Tyler Prell, 1-0. High fly ball out to right field. Seitz is going to try to race after it, and he makes the catch to retire the sides. And no runs are going to score here for Ida Baker, despite putting 2 in scoring position. Ida Baker 5, Riverdale 0, and the bottom of the 6 is on the way from Pringle Field.
Number 6, Brendan McNabb.
Leading off the bottom of the 6 for the Raiders is Brendan McNabb, as the Raiders are being downed by the Ida Baker Bulldogs by a 5-0 score. If the Raiders cannot at least tie up the ball game, let alone get the lead, then this game will end about an inning away at the bottom half of the 7th. But right now it's the bottom half of the 6th, and the Raiders still have 2 more chances to at least get some runs on the board before the end of this ball game. McNabb starts off with a 2-0 count as the umpire is going to dust off home plate. It's seen a whole lot of action in tonight's game. As you can imagine, the batter's box is already faded by now. And we are now officially into your 2-hour mark of this ball game. 9:04 p.m. is your time in Southwest Florida. Count now advanced to 3-0. And can McNabb get the 4-pitch walk? The answer is yes. Brendan McNabb taking over on first base. And a great way to start things for the Raiders.
Next batter for your Raiders, number 1, Tyler Yeager.
So Tyler Yeager will try to add on to the festivities here. Meanwhile, there's some throwing back and forth in the Raider bullpen. Down right field, throw the first is not going to be in time, and Yeager is on. Oh, what a beautiful bunt down the third base side. The throw from the pitcher, Dakota Kayada, was not in time, and Yeager got on first. Just beat the throw by about a step, however.
Number 8, Matisse Boober.
Dakota Kayada, the second pitcher of the ballgame for Ida Baker, seems to be giving into the pressure here that the Raiders are providing. Bouncer down the middle, Matisse Bober lays down the bunt, and he will suffer a 1-3 putout. But the main goal is achieved, and that is to extend those runners. So once again, Raiders have seen this familiar position before. Men on second and third. 1 out. And this is Daniel Kaler up next.
Number 15, Daniel Kaler.
So Raiders just doing whatever they can to make a statement by saying, hey, we're still in this ball game. We're still a competitor. But let's see if Kaler can send that message for the team by the end of this at-bat. Takes a pitch low. 1-0. Out the center field. This is getting deep. Caught by the center fielder, Luke Ensley. And the runner, Brendan McNabb, is going to come home from third base. Raiders on the board at the bottom of the 6th, and it's 5-1 your score. Ida Baker on top. Meanwhile, Tyler Yeager is going to stay in his place at second.
Your next Raider batter, number 18, Tyler Gertman.
And the current pitcher for the Raiders, Tyler Gertman, now steps up with 2 outs. So it's good that the Raiders just got on the board here. Now down by 4 runs. And your second to last inning of play at the bottom half of the 6th. Here's a pitch way outside. That was a very nice fly ball out the center field, caught by Luke Ensley. Yeager making his way over to third. It's not going to matter as it's caught out in left field by Matt McGarty, who is tracking down that ball, cruising out to his right side towards the third base line. Your score is now 5-1. Raiders get on the board, but we head into your 7th inning with the Raiders trailing by 4 runs.
For the Baker Bulldogs, number 5, Alex Rios.
Alex Rios is the opening batter of your 7th and final inning of play as the Ida Baker Bulldogs have the advantage over the Riverdale Raiders in varsity baseball action by a 5-1 score. Rios takes a ball 1 from a new Raider pitcher on the mound, Daniel Kaler. Sparked high up. Tyler Prell throws the catcher's mask down and gloves it up down the first base line for your opening out of inning number 7.
Batting next for Ida Baker, number 6, Corey Hill.
So Alex Rios is retired with an F2 in the scorebooks, and Corey Hill will now be the upcoming batter who takes a strike 1. Daniel Kaler, now the 5th pitcher of the ball game for Riverdale. Quite a few of these players, they've been getting some experience that they usually may not get. So it's really great when you have a nice rotation with the pitchers and all kinds of guys on the team getting some experience. Strike 2 makes the count 0-2. And does he get to strike 3? Yes, he does on the outer edge. And down goes Corey Hill as the fastball blows right by him.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, number 4, Luke Ensley.
Luke Ensley up next. Looks like our softball game is wrapped up. As I look over the left field wall, no action going on out there as I see. So now 2 outs here at the top of the 7th, and this is going to tip foul off the bat of Ensley. Down third. So Ensley, by the time that ball was called foul, he was already on first base, so he'll make a slow trot back to home plate, and we'll see what he can do from here with an 0-1 count. 2 outs at the top of the 7th. The good news is that Ida Baker is up by 4. What Ida Baker needs to do is expect Riverdale to come out fighting at the bottom of the 7th, since it's their last chance to really get even. So a pitch drops low, which makes the count 1-1. And the following deal is going to be knocked back towards the press box, foul. Daniel Kaler in his first mound appearance of the night in his first inning. So far has a 2-up, 2-down inning going. Can you make a 3-up, 3-down here? Not just yet, as it's another foul to the backstop. Carson Palmquist, who is sitting on the Raider dugout, made his way out and scooped up that ball from the backstop. Gave it to the home plate umpire. Remember Carson Palmquist, he was the starting pitcher for the Raiders. Anyhow, he was put out of the game at the end of the first. 3 runs were scored at the top half of the first for Ida Baker, and 8 players stepped up to bat. Hit by a pitch here for Luke Ensley, and he's now on first.
Ida Baker, number 10, Christian Prophet.
To keep this at-bat alive, or keep this inning alive, rather, for at least one more at-bat. 2 on and 1 out. Christian Prophet, the batter. Kaler throws over the first to check on Ensley, and he's back in time, with plenty of time to spare as well. Kaler with the deal home. That's sparked high up out towards center field. It's actually shallow right center, and Brendan McNabb is going to backtrack and make the catch to retire the sides. 6.5 complete, and we are down to your 3 final outs of the ball game. Raiders are down by 4 runs. 5-1 is your score.
Number 7, Tyler Pringle.
Raiders have 3 more chances to get some runs on the board and get something going here. Raiders trailing by 4 runs, now at the bottom half of the 7th. Ida Baker 3 outs away from a victory here as they visit Pringle Field at Riverdale High School, and Tyler Prell is going to be your opening batter of the home half. Starts with a pitch low. The 1-0 will advance into a 2-0 count. Raiders at the home half of the 6th were able to spark 1 run across. It was a sacrifice fly that brought home Brendan McNabb from third. Swing and a miss again. Now makes it 2-1. Now we're starting to see some fans clear out in the Raider fan section. Fans trying to come home, and that's a beautiful one laid down the left field line. This should be a double for Tyler Prell. I'm not going to lie, I was very impressed that time. Just line drive right down the third base side, bounce fair past the third base bag, and this sets up a good situation for Hunter Tinsley. Courtesy runner on second, it's Ryan Cooper.
Base, number 39, Ryan Cooper. Your next Raider batter, number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Last time we played a home game here at Pringle Field, Hunter Tinsley was at the plate. It was at the home half of the 10th inning between the Riverdale Raiders and the South Fort Myers Wolfpack. He sparked a walk-off base hit through left field, but there will be no heroics here as he grounds out to the shortstop. 4 and out, and the runner will make its way over to third. That's Ryan Cooper once again.
Colton Seitz.
Colton Seitz up next with 1 out and 1 man on.
No heroics, base hits. No heroics, base hits.
He'll start with a strike. And the Raiders, they just need to start off with the little thing, and that's base hits. They can't be focusing on, knocking a home run over the wall. Just take a little by little. Here's a throw to first. It's an error. The throw from the third baseman was just too high. The throw to second. He's out. But the good news is that Ryan Cooper is able to score home from third. And it's 5-2. Ida Baker. Well, that's another out wasted that time, but that really has to hurt.
Next batter for your Raiders, number 5, Joel Velez.
Colton Seitz got a little too confident. That was a bouncer to the third baseman. Tried to throw across the dime in the first. It was too high up and landed just off to the right side of the Raider dugout. Seitz tried to extend into a double, but it didn't work out as his slide was too late. Joel Velez, maybe the last batter of this ball game. Let's see if he can keep this game going for just a little bit. 0-1 to start things off, and that's your ball game most likely. 4-3 put out, and that's going to do it. Your final score after 7 complete innings, the Riverdale Raiders fall to the Ida Baker Bulldogs by a 5-2 final score. Live from Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School, we'd like to thank you all for tuning into tonight's ball game. It wasn't the best of memories for the Raiders, but it really is great experience for them because we mentioned it plenty of times throughout the ball game. Ida Baker, they are one heck of a talented ball club. They have now won 13 of their 15 ball games in the 2016 season.
Raider Baseball Complex. Good night, everyone.
Now let's remind you folks about the standings here. Ida Baker now extends their win-loss 2016 overall record to a 13-2 record. Boy, they are an impressive team, and They certainly showed it here tonight, dominating the Raiders at Pringle Field on the road. Meanwhile, the Riverdale Raiders will drop down to a 6-win, 9-loss overall record. And they will drop down to the number 6 spot and Class 7A District 12. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like that's just about going to do it for tonight's broadcast. And we'd like to remind you about our next upcoming games for the Raiders. After tonight, Riverdale will take a bus ride over to East Lee County to take on the Jaguars, and the ball game that will take place tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Their next home game will be played this Thursday night when the Estero Wildcats come to visit RHS. First pitch will take place at 7 p.m., and if you are interested in coming out to support your Raiders, tickets are $4 apiece. So once again, we'll see you Thursday night. Raiders take on the Estero Wildcats at 7 p.m. If you can't make it out to the ball game, you can listen into the broadcast right here on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. But that's going to wrap it up for tonight's broadcast. This is Nick Rush saying thank you so much for tuning in throughout the course of tonight's ball game. And one last time, the Ida Baker Bulldogs defeat the Riverdale Raiders by a final score of 5-2. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on Thursday night. But for now, have a wonderful Monday night, and we will see you at the ball game at Pringle Field.